Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video or for today's vlog, I'm going to discuss to you the combined explanation of lab plus TCP and OSI model. So first, it is a common part of all introductory networking courses in a review of a different network models, including the Open System Interconnection or the OSI and the Transport Control Protocol Internet Protocol models, because both of models are still used when describing modern-day protocols. These protocols will take a look at both of these models. This video will take a look at both of these models, their layers, and how they can be related to each other. So, the OSI model consists of 7 different layers that are labeled from 1 through 7. So, physical layer is at the bottom because it is named the physical layer because it is responsible for the transmission and reception of wired level data. For example, the layer is where it is dictated how bits are represented across a specific networking medium, regardless of whether the network medium is electrical or, let's say, optical in construction. So the second one, or the layer 2, is the data link layer, or it is responsible for link establishment and termination. It is also a frame traffic control sequencing, acknowledgement or error checking, and media access management. It is the most familiarized standards used at the data link layer include at the Ethernet or the media and the media access control or the MAC. So let's proceed to the third layer. It is the network layer. So the network layer is where routing of network traffic begins. The network layer not only makes the traffic router decision but also provides traffic control, fragmentation, and logical addressing of the IP or the Internet protocol. It is the most common network layer protocol, but other commonly used protocols included the Internet Control Message Protocol or the ICMP and the Internet Group Message Protocol or the IGMP. So let's proceed to the fourth layer. It is the transport layer. It is responsible for message segmentation, acknowledgement, traffic control, and session multiplexing. The transport layer also has the ability to perform error detection and correction, message reordering to ensure message sequence and reliable message channel depending on the specific transport layer protocol used. It is the most common of the used transport layer protocols, included the Transport Control Protocol and the User Datagram Protocol. So let's proceed to the layer 5 or the session layer. Is responsible for session establishment, maintenance, and termination Common example of session layer are the name pipes and the net BIOS. So the sixth one is the OSI is the presentation layer, and it is responsible for character code translation, data conversion, comprehension, and encryption. Some common examples include multi-purpose internet mail extension. Wow, it's an airplane. Transport layer security and secure sockets layer. So the last one is the OSI mod. The last layer or the layer 7 of the OSI model is named application layer, and it is responsible for a number of different things depending on the application. Some of these things include resource sharing, remote file access, remote printer access, network management, and electronic messaging. So let's proceed to the TCP or IP model. This model is layered and is used in the same fashion as the OSI model but with fewer layers. As the modern internet and most communication use the internet protocol, the TCP or IP model is technically more in line like modern network implementation. As stated before, the layer within the TCP IP model are considered less rigid than that of the OSI model, which is basically means that many protocols implemented can be considered in gray areas between one area and another. So it has the four layers. The first layer is the link layer. It is the lowest layer of the TCP and IP model. It is also referred to in some texts as the network interface layer. So the second layer is the internet layer. It is the next layer up from the link layer, and it is associated with the network layer of the OSI model. It includes traffic routing, traffic control, fragmentation, and logical addressing. Common protocols include IP, ICMP, and IGMP. The next layer is the transport layer. It is the next layer, and it is typically related directly with the name layer in the OSI model. Functions include message segmentation, acknowledgement, traffic control session, multiplexing, error detection, and correction. Resends and message reordering common protocols include the control protocol or the TCP and user data protocol or the UDP. So the last layer is the application layer. It is the highest layer in the TCP or IP model, and it is related to the session, presentation, and application layers of the OSI model. The application layer of the TCP IP model is used to handle all process-to-process communication functions. And there are a number of different functions which are carried out by this layer, including session establishment, maintenance, and termination, character code, translations, data conversions, compression, and encryption, remote access, network management, and electronic messaging. To name few common protocols include name pipes, NetBIOS, MIME, TLS, SSL, FTP, DNS, HTTP, SMTP, and many more. The confusion that exists between these two different models is common for a new network engineers. So, as many have at least some familiarity with TCP/IP but never heard of OSI. So the TCP and IP are so familiarized with us because it is usually we use in our when we are using the internet. It is should be clear that these are strictly models and should be considered separate entities from each other when being taught. Hopefully, this article is able to make clear the functions that are considered applicable to each layer within each model. Because both of the OSI and TCP/IP model are still used in today's life. And these models layers to help give us a visual description of what it is going and what is the function of this in our life. So I am done with this explanation of the TCP and OSI model with the lab. So I am done with you guys. So goodbye guys and see you on my next vlog.